Hi, my name is Julian. This is a video of the Melbourne to Warnie bike race that I raced yesterday. I finished and I come down from Brisbane to race in C grade. So I'll show you a bit of onboard footage in this video and include a bit of commentary on how my race went and some tips about preparation and how to survive the race and get yourself into a position to finish within the 1 hour time limit and get that all important medal at the end. I didn't get one yesterday. I was outside the time limit by 1 minute 46 seconds out of an hour, so I was pretty close. But I'll have a bit of a chat about how things could have gone better and how I could have got within that time limit, which I certainly believe I could have. So the Melbourne to Warrnambool course is shown here, and you can see that it starts in Avalon Airport, makes its way down through Geelong, and then out past Geelong through the first KOM at Warrnambool, which is where you'll see that I get separated from the leaders, down through Moriac, along 100 k's in through Colac, moving south through the 140 k's down to Timboon. Then we head to the coast at Port Campbell, and there's a beautiful section, very scenic, along the Great Ocean Road before we go inland again and make our way to Warrnambool, the 267k of total distance, and that's the finish in Warrnambool on Raglan Parade. And so here's just a couple of photos at the start of me on the right with my teammate, Cowboy Pat Johnson. Just a couple of happy snaps. We didn't look like that at the end, of course, and looking a bit serious there, wondering what's going to happen for the next 7 hours. And that's Pat's bike. He's telling me to get a new one. Yeah, we're ready to go. And there's Dad's car on the left, open with all the kit in it.
Good luck to the riders, all the best. And we will certainly see you out on course. Good luck to Zach Gilmore, Mark O'Brien, and one of the dinosaurs. Good luck.
So this is the race start. It's in Avalon Airport. Cadell Evans fired the gun this year, and I'm gridded up in C grade at the rear of the bunch. And we're just making our way through the service roads of the airport out onto the Geelong freeway for the start of the race proper. You can see on the right of the screen are my telemetry gauges that shows my power and speed, etc., directly from my bike. And you can see it's quite an effort at the start of the race. It'll kick up to some fairly high power. It's not an easy start. So here you can see we're now entering probably the most fun part of the race, just off the out of the airport service roads and now onto the Geelong freeway. So we've got the races. The races run under a rolling road closure, a police rolling road closure, where the police basically surround the riders and block traffic from interacting with the riders. You can see here pretty clearly why that's necessary. And we're now on the Geelong freeway, so I can only imagine what some of the motorists are saying behind us. That would come as a bit of a surprise, but pretty cool to be riding the bike down the Geelong freeway. And we get up to some nice speeds here as the NRS riders start to attack a little bit later, and we're rolling on at about 50 k's an hour. It's a bit of fun. Doesn't last too long as we turn off shortly afterwards. On the right, in the pedal kit there, Animal Organic, that is Pat Gordon, who we ended up finishing with today. Master C winner of the Tour of Bright previously. Excellent rider. Only finished with us because he punctured and ended up with us. But here we are. It's pretty cool. You're in the bunch with everyone up to C graders like me, just planning and praying to hold on and get a finish, all the way up to guys like Jimmy Whelan, just come out of the world tour with EF Education First, and Cyrus Monk, another guy who's been international. I saw him around, you'll see his mullet. So you don't get many opportunities to race at this level with those blokes, and you can see we're already up to 50 k's an hour. Pretty easy at some points when it's flat. You can see I'm just right down to 0 watts at some points. The minute it goes upwards a little bit, you're on the rivet. So here we're about to exit the freeway. We're leaving the freeway. We're going to take the off ramp, and you can see it's pretty fast in the bunch. There's a lot of movement, a lot of moving around, and here we go. You just can't see the marshals in the motorbikes, and a couple of riders almost collect them. I had to hit the brakes pretty hard there, but survived that one, and we're now on the off ramp, heading down towards I'm not sure where we are, but we're certainly past Geelong, and soon to make a right-hand turn at the end. So really important here when you're in the race with this bunch. It's moving pretty quickly. Don't lose your speed. So that's a tip. I mean, that's try and keep your speed. Otherwise, you'll work real hard with the bunch. So you can see they all come to a stop here. And I was trying to stay on the outside to maintain my speed. I ran out of space there, and you can see that I am about to pay for that. So back on, and it is all systems go to try and hold the bunch. I'm not really a high power rider, I'm more of a diesel, so I'm doing upwards of 400 watts there, and I'm getting past like I'm standing still. And it's strung out at the back. Even though I made up a bit of ground around the outside, it's strung out. There goes Cowboy, my teammate, Pat Johnston. He's riding well for the Move Veloci Ascent Cycles Racing team that we're in. Thanks very much to them. And he tells me to get on, so I do. And we're pretty much back on, but you can see it's pretty strung out here. And yeah, that's a bit of an effort. On the right, Anthony Summers, Brunswick rider. He was there last year with me. He's having another crack. Yeah, it's all back together now, but you've got to be really careful coming around those corners, not just to take care of your safety, but to really try and make sure that you stay in contact, because you pay for it catching back on. So thanks for watching part 1 of the video, and I hope that shows with the onboard footage just a little bit of the start of the race, the first 30 k's, what it's like in the bunch. That's probably the easiest part of the race. So if you click on to part 2 of the video, we'll continue now and skip a few k's forward to the first KOM, and that's where the real race begins, and that's where the real challenge is. So we'll have a look at that. Me trying to keep up with the fast riders, the pros, the NRS riders, and we'll also have a quick chat with my dad, who came out and helped me all day, and what his perspective was, and look at bike setup, what I brought along on the bike, and to eat and drink. and finally just to look at the results, a review of that, and how I went and how I think I could have done better. So hopefully those are a few tips to anyone who's considering giving the Warnie a go. There's a lot to learn from doing it. So that'll be in part 2 of the video if you move on to that. Cheers. Thanks for watching. So before we go from part 1, this is just a quick look at my training regimen before the Warnie. So I've done quite a lot of training this year. I'm not coached. I just go out and do different stuff. So you can follow through here from last year. And I was up at around 70, 80 for the Grafton to Inverell that I did last year. I then broke my leg, and you can see it drop down. The long-term stress, the CGS, the chronic training stress, is the blue line, and you can see that is just rising steadily after I've recovered from my hip break, and got it up to, for the Warnie, up to about 100. Actually, which is quite a lot. It's probably the most I've done ever, and that's probably put me in, I think, for me, pretty good shape for this. I've certainly done lots of hard rides, some 300, even 400 TSS rides, and that's over a long period with a steady build up to the Warnie.